that's good. This is episode 4 of The Year That Never Was, 1980. So there was a small, minor, infinitesimal hiccup over the last session. So I didn't record it. I'll go through, as memory dictates, what happened last session. So as we left it, session 2, going into session 3, you'd arrived at the Anderson Institute. You'd broken into the Anderson. Some of you had broken into the Anderson Institute. Meanwhile, Steve's character had astral projected in. Whilst that was happening, you were attacked by an unknown assailant who teleported into your car and then teleported you out, grabbing the body. And after a small fight, managed to recover Steve's body and get into the castle, into the Anderson Institute. Found some records. You gathered yourself together at the entrance, the reception, just to discover that a nuclear bomb had gone off in Bristol Temple Meads, to be exact. And that's where session 2 ended. Session 3 opened with that. You had not been too sure whether to go to London or Westwich. The Acorn contacted you, or the Acorn side. No, you went straight back to the hotel to kind of gather your thoughts as to what you were going to do. When you got there, you realised that the acorn was kind of humming. You put it in a pot, it grew, and you were able to contact or communicate with Dryad. Dryad hit the communication onto Agent
Greenwood. Yeah.
And she told you that dice were being chucked out within 48 hours, 24 hours to 48 hours, and you were essentially on your own for a bit, but you should go to, after you told her what was going on, that you should go and speak to DCI Chambers in the who was running solo out of the Black Museum in London. You drove down to London. Don't think you did anything in between, did you? No, you did. You drove to the outskirts of London, where you contacted an old flame of diamond geezers.
Oh yes.
Which didn't prove as useful as it could have. You thought you were going to be able to get. You were going to use that as a method to get into London. That proved to be fruitless. But what you did hear was the Prime Minister, Forbes Bryson, coming on TV and saying that he's blaming Solo for the incompetence and the death of all the heroes down in Bristol Temple Meads, and that he was chucking them out. So you then headed to London. Lots of people were leaving London, but they also announced that Strike Force, the Armageddon Gambit that had been initiated, which was putting Strike Force, or the 20 suits of Strike Force, on full alert, and they were going to be running around the UK saving the day. Only Dice told you it was 40 suits plus the giant mech, colloquially known as Big Dave. Big Pete, sorry. So you headed down to London to New Scotland Yard, parked your car around the corner, and you then went in and met with DCI Chambers. Did nothing in between that. No, that's right. So meeting DCI Chambers, he went through the records of what he had on Trickster Girl and Time Lord. he also informed you that there were some links to a British MP and the Bristol Temple Meads explosion, in as much as he was under the impression that in essence, the nuclear signature, or the only missing nuke that has been reported missing in the last 70 years, was in about 54, where there was a nuclear aircraft crashed in Canada. However, what actually happened was Devastator stole it. Destroyer stole it. And as it turns out, Destroyer was in fact Barry Sproat's dad. So it's possible that nuclear weapon that never turned up again was Barry Sproat still had it in some manner. That's the point where Diamond Gears,
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, wasn't it? Didn't it? Wasn't it planted in the bomb next to one of my lockups?
Yes, that's the moment that Diamond Gears remembered that Barry Sproat's lockup in Bristol Temple Meads is next to one of his little network of lockups around the country. So that it's highly likely that the nuclear bomb either accidentally went off or deliberately went off, but it was in the lockup next to Diamond Geezers. So Barry Sproat's dead. Also, that's missing is the other member of that
committee.
The committee, a Liberal Democrat whose name is not that important, but if I can find it quickly, I will. He's missing. So that was interesting. You found a little bit more about Time Lord, which reinforced everything you found on the internet in terms of dressed like a 17th century rake. Yes, there's an image of him with some Roman soldiers, a giant eagle, and the dinosaurs and whatnot. In his in the solo pack, the records, it talked about him being captured by somebody called the Anachronic Man. And there's a note that says, if you wish to contact me, leave a note behind John Clinton's plaque in Postman's Park.
Can we go and do that?
Yep. So then you went Postman's Park. Where's that? So we figured out where Postman's Park were. You drove down and parked it. Can't remember where you parked it. I'm going to be generous and say you parked it in a multi-story car park, which you can pay at some point and leave. And because that'll be retconned, that's fine. So you go to the park, you put the note. Very shortly, a gate opened up in the wall by the fake fountain. A Edwardian style townhouse on a clump of mud emerged into Postman Park. A ladder was dropped. You climbed up, went into the ladder, and found yourselves speaking to a guy that looks like Terry Thomas, who introduced himself as the Anachronic Man. In that townhouse, which is obviously bigger on the inside than it is on the outside, obviously, there were some other superheroes that you kind of saw. There was Cowboy, an old American superhero thought lost during the Korean War. He went downstairs, and Anachronic Man spoke to you about the incident with capturing Time Lord, who was a little bit insane, and they tried to bring him back to reality. But for his safety, they had kind of imprisoned him for his own safety into a pocket dimension within the dimension of Tindalos, using some mathematical equations. So the problem they had was they can go and get him, but history has already played out that when they do that, there are going to be some Nazis there. He was talking about Nazis from the Eyrie, the Himmler's castle. Baber's, I can't pronounce it. I've lost the pronunciation. Babersberg. It's close enough. There was some scientists working within Tindalos. There was reported to be a Hanabi flying UFO, some V2s and V1s, but they weren't aware that Time Lord was trapped in a kind of bubble in the cave. So he was taking you to Tindalos, and the end sequence was emerging into that bubble and releasing the Utah Raptors with some of those superheroes that have been picked out of time, ready to go up against the Nazi superheroes, the Nazi villains, should we say.
Woo!
And that's where we left it, really.
It's all coming back to me now.
Yeah, so, I think that we maybe missed a couple of bits there, but I think that's more or less it.
Yeah, it's a pretty good rundown. So what was the last? How did we emerge into the space? Or haven't we done that?
So a gate opened, and you simply flew your flying townhouse into the Tindalos dimension. We can take a step back and explain what the Tindalos dimension is. So the opening sequence is, it kind of just begins a few moments before, and the Anachronic Man says to you, as you are aware, he says, but the tone of his voice is a little bit patronizing, as if to say, I know, but you don't. But as you are aware, the universe is made up of a number of timelines and a number of alternate versions. We colloquially call your universe the Eagleverse. Next, running parallel to that is a.
Didn't you say it was called the Kestrelverse or something?
It's called the Kestrelverse. The main difference is some nuances with a number of different heroes, but the 54 attempt to blow up the moon by the Americans, or to drop a nuclear bomb on the moon to frighten the Russians, took place. So above the Earth is a moon broken in two.
Oh yes.
And the key of time works differently in the Kestrelverse than it does in the Eagleverse. He lets that hang, and he says, so there are many other universes. This particular universe is a kind of pocket bubble universe as an offshoot of the Bachioverse.
The what universe?
The Bachioverse, dreamt up by an American scholar in the 1920s, or he reported in your universe. He wrote a number of books claiming this stuff had happened, and he was actually dreaming of this universe that we've named after one of his creations, the Bachia.
That Bachia?
No, with a K.
Back.
Oh, you know, there'd be a test.
BAK.
B. Oh, hang on. It's one of Lovecraft's monsters.
Oh, the Biaki.
Biaki, yes, it's Biaki.
Sorry, now I'm with you.
Shriveled creature, sort of flying creature. I'm pretty sure he created it. Otherwise, it was. I trying to pick a bird kind of creature that, because all of them were like eagle, kestrel, verse, because it kind of stuck when I had the two. So,
you know, I'm glad my character doesn't read Lovecraft.
Yeah, I've read the odd bit.
Yeah, no shit.
I would have thought the technical phrase is all of it.
Not yet. This I'm halfway. I'm a little way into the letters to Argus Derleth, which are quite interesting. And then I've got, after that, I've got to do, that's 2 volumes. Then There's like 26 volumes of the letters, and then the non-fiction, 5 volumes. I'm padding for time until I can find this thing. But yeah, it's just. I don't think it's gonna be as bad as when I try the Tolkien stuff. I did the 12 Christopher Tolkien books, and you just get wiped out with that. It's just too much Middle Earth.
Yeah, a lot of it's just rewriting, revising similar chapters. You can get something out of it, but
it's interesting to see the evolution of Strider.
Yeah.
Starting off as a hobbit called Trotter.
With clogs.
Yeah, which is a bit odd. And then it kind of moves into the elves began as gnomes. Anyway, so Eagleverse, Kestrelverse, Ospreyverse.
Ospreyverse.
Yeah. Condorverse, Phoenixverse.
I'm writing these down because they're pretty good.
I just kind of went through a whole chunk of verses.
Ostrich.
Ostrich verse.
Is that the universe where no one can fly?
Yeah, there is. I can't remember. I should have done a thing with an index for this thing. Forest of broccoli location.
So basically, every time someone makes a decision, the universe splits there because you might have made a different decision. So
no. It's there was the collapsing universe that was created for Shadow 5, but other than that, you have to think of time as if somebody sitting in the year 50,000,002 picks up a book of the 20th century and flips through it. It's already happened. Time is not happening from our perspective. It's happening from that person in the year 20 million. So he's already seen it. We don't know what's happened. It's fixed, if that makes sense. We've got that you can make minor infinitesimal changes, but it has already happened. And because it's already happened, it means you can then jump through time because you can go backwards and forwards. That's the logic. That's where I was working on my logic for that. Anyway, I can't find the epoxy thing because it's vanished again. So yeah, the Bakuverse. So it's kind of like everything that Lovecraft had come up with exists in that universe. So Cthulhu and Nyarlathotep and all those, which is why the Tindalos dimension exists. It's a hypergeometric construct of mathematical proportions that sits just outside of the Bakuverse, but is part of. It's where the hounds come from.
Oh yeah.
And it's called Tindalos.
Tindalos, yes. After Frank Belknap's long story of the same name, The Hounds of Tindalos. They come out of corners. They are like mathematical, non-elusive. I can't pronounce that.
Euclidean.
Over that. That's it. Non-Euclidean numbers. Anyway, that's where you are. So, you enter the arena. You have in front of you a vast cavern. Directly in front of you, you have a number of superheroes. We'll call them superheroes. They're Nazi supervillains. To the left of them is a Hanobi 2 flying UFO.
Whoa!
I don't know if anyone of you have seen or know what Hanobu is.
No, I'm just going whoa for effect.
The only one I know is the the Nazi bell sort of thing.
Yeah, so no, it's not quite the Nazi bell.
Yeah.
But it is it's a flying saucer that the Nazis allegedly had.
Is this the one that's got sort of like gun turrets on the side of it?
Yes, and it's got like bulges underneath.
Yeah, big. Yeah, I know the one.
Yeah.
How do you spell it?
Hanubi, Haun, Hanubi, Haunb. Hang on, Haunbe.
Okay.
And he goes, "Oh yeah, going back to the universes." Now that GM's found the page, he says, "Obviously, you have the main universe is the Eagleverse, of which there was an offshoot, a collapsing universe, a rarity, but that did exist and collapse within a short space of time. The Kestrelverse, as I said about the moon." And then other known universes is the Ospreyverse. This is a destroyed universe, and when the CERN Large Hadron Collider was turned on in the Eagleverse, it created a black hole which opened an Einstein-Rosen bridge and pulled the Osprey universe into it and destroyed it.
Wow.
Without anyone knowing. The Condorverse is you can describe that as a cyberpunk world.
Okay.
Named so because I ran a cyberpunk campaign, and the group were called Condor, named after the film 3 Days of the Condor, because I quite like the sound of it, and the fact that 3 Days of the Condor was the film, whereas the book was 5 Days of the Condor. That's cutting for you. The Phoenix Verse is a kind of a medieval fantasy world. Can't remember why I called it Phoenix. Doesn't matter. The Raven Verse can be described as a world of the dead, more carrying crow than raven. But the Rock Verse, ROC, is essentially a world inhabited by Greek and Roman gods. The Hakiverse, which is where you're now, it's the Lovecraftian world. Albatross Verse, a land that has all but vanished. There's no land; it's just all water. So water world, but Desert Bird Verse. Oh yes, I forgot I'd done that. So I was trying to think of a bird that just lives in the desert, and clearly I hadn't got that far, so I just called it Desert Bird Verse. All the water's gone, just leaving the desert.
Can't you go for Vultureverse?
Vulture could be Vultureverse. I just never went back to finishing that. I just realised I hadn't. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Ibis Verse, all the Egyptian gods rule.
Nice one.
Shakira Verse. Don't you pronounce that wrong? That's not Shakira, just her singing all the time. It's a world where the Hindu pantheon dwells in harmony. The Hindu pantheon in your universe are almost trapped. They exist, but they are trapped in what's called the Perpetual Garden Party. So
it's not a garden party. I was not aware that it was a garden party.
And they've been running through. So all those Hindu gods are trapped there. Apart from the guy that nicks the Brahmister's nuclear weapon thing, he slips away. Doesn't matter. That's not important at the moment. But yeah, that's where they are now. Your universe. Then you have the Hawkingverse. Best place to live. This is a world that is ruled by Stephanie Hawking, aka Stephen Hawking. It's a great intelligence, Earth's greatest thinker, transferred her mind into the World Wide Web, now rules the world. And then the last one is the Archaeopteryx verse, the world of dinosaurs. Oh,
nice one.
Forgot about those. So yes, you are in Lovecraft's baby, created by Frank Bellamont Long, the Tinderlost universe. So you've seen the Hanabi. You skim around and you see the two V1s and the V2s. You don't see the Nazi bell.
See that? Is that the so the flying saucer? That's the one I put the picture up of, yeah.
Let me just get the
on Discord.
Yeah. This Discord. Yes. So I have a model of that.
Rev will do a model of it.
Yeah, I've got that. How am I going to put in? How did you put the image in?
I just went into Google Images, copied and pasted in. This is into the chat.
I'll see if I can do it this way, because the reason why there is that we didn't have a Nazi bell is because I didn't have one.
Hang on.
But I do have one now. Copies. Discord. Ooh, general. There we go. Has that popped up?
Not just yet, but takes a second.
There we go.
Oh, that's different than the one I've got, I have to say.
I bought the large one, which in hindsight could have get the smaller one, but 3D printing is just something else.
Cool.
It's just one of those. I've got to have that. So, but I haven't put in the. So I'm drifting off. Let's go back. So you've seen the V2s and V1s. There are a couple of huts that obviously people are living in, and it looks like there are bits of rock kind of falling from the ceiling slowly, almost as if they're held by time. It feels like the cave is collapsing, but it's not collapsing. It feels really weird here. Everyone needs to make a not constitution. What's the word I'm looking for?
Vigor.
Vigor. Let's go with vigor.
Vigor. Okay.
Yes.
So we need to check our vigor against our stat. That's what you're asking us to do.
Yes. So yeah. Essentially, if you fail, you are going to be vomiting over the side.
Oh, lovely.
Jumping universes can have that effect. The worst effect is if you go from the Eagle verse to the Flat Earth verse.
Oh, so it's just a straight D20.
Yeah, straight D20. If you get over.
Oh, way to go! I know my vigor's not very high, but I've definitely got a stat over 5.
No.
Where is my character sheet?
So yeah, the worst one is to go to the Flat Earth, because you're going from a spinning universe to a non-spinning universe. Your body is attuned to spinning at thousands of miles an hour in space, whereas the flat Earth verse, it doesn't spin. So you will collapse. Your balance will be completely off, and you'll be vomiting and feel really nauseous for quite a while until you adjust. But
charming.
You're not at the flat Earth verse.
Yeah, let's not do that.
No, that's me. So Mike, you just need to do a roll 1d20 and tell me if you got lower or higher than your bigger stat. Just falling asleep.
Oh, he's dropped off Discord, actually.
Okay, we'll wait for we come back. We'll assume it's a moot point whether you'll throw up or not. It's just for effect. So, glancing in, you see the first lot of guys on their Raptors shoot forward. There's some yeehaws and some blasts. In the far corner on your left, you can see kind of like an opaque bubble.
Right.
And the Anachronic Man points and says, "That's where the Time Lord is. That's where Time Lord is."
I remember now. He said he wants us to rescue Time Lord, and the rest of the guys will tackle the Nazis. I think that was basically it, wasn't it?
Yes. He said it shouldn't be that hard. Just make your way straight to the Nazis. That's the Nazis, to the Time Lord.
Are you doing this on D20? Roll 20?
Yeah. I haven't got a map. I couldn't organise a map that I really liked. So, which is I had hoped to photograph the actual board I used, but it wasn't until about half an hour before I started that I realised I hadn't actually taken the photograph.
All right.
But
I have days like that, so don't worry about it.
So, do you have any questions before you begin?
No.
Other than we didn't really have an idea how to get him out of this bubble.
Well,
it's a psychic bubble. He's trapped there. I got a psychic, I'll call her, to create the imagery bubble. It's actually he's. I used one of his traps in essence. He thinks he's okay, but he's actually trapped in a psychic loop. There is another device you'll find when you break the psychic loop, a kind of it looks like a mouthpiece. It enables him to breathe and take on water and food without actually breathing and taking on water and food. It's a magical device that I had Spellslinger create for me.
Okay.
It was a payment for something.
Okay, so how far away is the opaque orb thing?
200 yards.
200 yards, and there's a bunch of Nazis.
So on your right hand side, you have the Nazis have engaged with the superheroes on velociraptors. There's a lot of strange looking Nazis there. On the right hand side, there's guys in suits packing stuff up.
And
they look like they're carrying their stuff to the Hanabi.
Is it just an open field or sort of thing? Or
Yeah, you're in a cave, a very big cavern, and it's very smooth surface, almost concrete.
Is there any way we can sneak round the side to get closer to them without being seen, or are we just going to be seen?
The minute the thing popped into the cavern, everyone is watching it. So you've got no chance of being stealthy and trying to climb off this thing and not be seen.
No,
it's quite an imposing entrance that has been made.
So, given that the rest of our crew, most of whom we don't know, apart from maybe Gunslinger, are they clearing a path, or have we got any opposition between us and the bubble?
At this moment, there is no opposition between you and the bubble. As the closer you get, you might find that you get involved with some of the scientists because they seem to be taking their stuff to the Hanabi, but as you cross over.
Oh, just making our way forward then, rather than just...
I'd like to fly over to the orb.
The bubble?
Yeah.
Okay. So whilst...
Can you carry me?
What's your strength?
My strength is 9 or 15. I think it's 15 if I double my size or something like that. That's my guess.
Oh yeah, you get a slight increase because you've got growth. Not growth, taller. Whichever one it is you've got.
It's growth.
Growth.
Yeah.
Growth.
Well, will that work?
So your size is 9. So your hits to kill are those. So you should be able to carry. What's your strength?
Me.
It's a 9/15. So
15 strength. You can carry a light aircraft.
You can carry me then.
Sports.
This is going to end up as a brawl, so you may as well carry both of us.
Yes, you could carry both of them.
So is what's his name? I forget Steve's character's name.
Talisman.
Talisman. Is he not? Is Talisman not with us?
Talisman will be with you, but not with you as a kind of background NPC. So
yeah.
Okay, double in size, and I'll grab one under each arm, and I'll fly over.
Okay, you begin to fly over. There's a couple of missed laser blasts that try and aim at you, but the fight on the right hand side is getting quite intensive. There appears to be some quite random blasts that are coming and hitting things. You see a scientist get vaporized by accident from one of the Nazis. But as the scientists then begin to kind of run en masse, and you land in front of the bubble before any scientist gets to Hanabi.
Right.
So you're about 20 feet away from the bubble. But as you land, there is a human standing in front of you, bare-chested with leather trousers on and boots. And there's a kind of a slight shimmer, and he grows fur and long claws and long teeth. He goes full Wolven as you land in front of you. Spouts something in German that you have no idea what he says.
Yeah.
Nothing. I think it's not hi. Would you like a cup of tea? It's it's German. It sounds bad.
Right, I'm going
Mine got
I'm going in swinging.
Donner und Blitzen, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So what's your dex?
Achtung Spitfire, yeah.
Actually, so what's your dexterity?
I'm just trying to look up the character sheet. Anybody got it?
I'm afraid I don't seem to have downloaded anybody else's character sheet, or other than my own.
Here we go. I got it.
You got it. Good.
Oh no, that's just the logo. There's Talisman.
I can upload character sheets to the Discord channel if anybody wants.
Yeah, that'd be useful if you could do mine.
Let me try that quickly.
There we go. So your dex is 10, geezer.
Right.
Just access the Google Drive.
What are you on?
Mike?
Is it in general?
Put it in general chat.
Just trying to find things.
No, not. He's gone over to the. He's gone over to the general voice channel. That's not. No, not the general voice channel. The general text channel.
Move into the light, Mike. Where's he gone now? Here we're back. So his dexterity is 10.
Yeah.
So it's initiative. But I think this guy's going to get the drop on you guys because he could see you flying a giant size carrying 2 humans.
Yeah, shiny silver.
Yes. Yeah, you stand like a sore thumb.
A sore thumb.
This is Natschjäger. Gustav Stoller.
Yike.
Right, I'm going in swinging. I'll tell you. I remember you guys. I still owe
So
you.
if you
I still owe you for what you did to my dad's pub in the war.
Oh, this is one story I've got to listen to.
No, actually, my granddad's pub in the war.
yeah, realizing his age, that's made him sound. These young kids will think, oh, he's really old. Oh, my great grandfather's pub.
Yeah.
All right, so initiative is where's the initiative thing?
And we talked about Diamond Geezer's granddad.
Yeah, that was my granddad's pub in the war. Ego 11, strength 48, dex 10, vigor 16. Okay.
We could get esoteric and say that Mercury Man, a long distance cousin, fell into the Black Forest and may or may not have been captured by the Nazis when they found their alleged alien in the Black Forest. So 4, I've got how many extra rounds they give me? Not many.
Excuse me.
So make a roll, Mike, and we'll see who gets the most rounds.
Okay, so what are we on? What do I need? Sorry.
Well, it's 2d10.
Oh, come on.
Oh, no, it's 1d10. 1d10. And whoever gets the highest, that's the breakdown is the extra rounds that you go first, or that you go.
Come on, behave, will you?
One. So he gets
How the hell did I? Oh,
get 2 rounds. So who's going to land first?
Well, I think my feet will touch the ground first, and then I'll
Okay.
the other two.
So Diamond Geezer, you're wearing a suit and haven't gone full diamond, whereas you look fully white and Aryan. So he's going to attack the woman, but he's clearly
because he's a Nazi.
because he's a Nazi. He would attack the alien, but the alien is much bigger than him at the moment. So he thinks, take out the woman, and then I can go for the guys afterwards because she's going to be the easy target.
He's not wrong.
If my reactions allow it, I will intercept or block any attack on either of my either.
Something tells me that our roll of 1 has put us in a very bad position.
Well, that's the thing.
Yes.
That's the thing of trusting me, isn't it? I don't even know how I rolled that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I'm not sure of the combat mechanics in this version. So,
we have a team initiative, and then I think it works on dexterity. Is that right?
Yeah. So you get so he got the jumping range, but you get a team initiative. You roll 1d10, they roll 1d10, and the difference between is the extra frames you get. So each round you can get between 1 and 4 frames, but you've got a number of frames to work on anyway. So this Night Jaeger, he's got 4 frames, but he's got an additional 2 frames, so he's got 6 frames to work with before you go. So he's going to leap. So he's going to 1 frame leap into the air, and
I'm dodging.
He's already changed shape. So that's 2 frames. Change shape, leap into the air, and he's going to attempt to attack with his claws the woman. checking the quiz. My mouse gone. So he's going to need a. What's he going to need? D20. So she's going to attack you. What's your defense class?
Well, because this is me you're talking to, isn't it, Vixen?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a defense class 6. So obviously I've declared a dodge because I know what he's going to try and do.
Yep. So
But you've got to make your attack roll anyway.
Yep. 1 dice. Oh. Strike is he misses.
That'll do for me.
His first. That's 3. So he has got 3 more.
Oh woo.
So he's going to try 2 more times now that he's leapt at you.
Well, if his attacks are 1 frame and my dodges take the same number of frames as his attack, I'll keep dodging.
Yeah. Okay, so you next round you'll get 1 frame.
Even if I use all 4 frames for this round, I've got a chance of staying alive.
But he has actually hit you, and he is going to.
Well, this is where I need to make the dodge then.
Yeah.
In between the attack, hitting, and your damage, I've got to make a dodge roll.
Yep.
So, well, I don't think we'll worry too much about a 1. It's not going our way, this isn't.
No. So you're now going to take 2d6 plus 12 damage. So 20 points of damage.
Now, is this kill or coma?
So he's going for kill.
Of course he is.
Because he's a Nazi.
Well, look on the bright side. It means we don't have to hold back.
Yeah.
Well, I won't role play the howling scream of agony as my abdominal wall gets split into 3 or 4 different segments and blood goes splattering across the nearest Nazi scientists.
But the resonation of motherfucker goes around the cave as he slices you. That was his last attack.
Considering you're an alien, do you have acid for blood? Could prove interesting.
Vixen is not an alien.
Ah, right, okay.
So it's now dexterity order. You guys go first. So do you have any armor or any dividers?
There's an argument to be made that if I'm in Vixen form, I might get hit to kill divider 2. But obviously, I'm Sally, so I've got nout.
Well, so before you go into, as you left the Edwardian building, you could have gone into Vixen mode. So I tell you what, if you roll a D100,
but I didn't want to do that because
you didn't want. Okay, if you chose not to, that's fine. That's otherwise. That's fine.
I've got a plan, and if I go into Vixen form, I can't use my psi powers.
Right. Okay. So who's got the highest dexterity? There you go.
The woman that's bleeding all over the floor.
Uh-huh.
I've got 10. I've got 10 for what it's worth for future reference.
Yeah, I'm on 15, so I think I've got the highest.
I've got 11.
Okay.
Given that I was dodging, how many?
You've got 1 action.
I've got 1 action.
If you've got 4, if you had 4 frames, you've got 1 frame you can go because you were dodging for 3.
Right. So, I mean, this won't work if I've misunderstood what you were saying, but if the bubble is some sort of psychic prison, then I was going to use Mind War to see if I could shut it down somehow. Given that Mind War is it's a way of overpowering another psychic phenomena.
Yep. Okay, so you will, if you continue to try and do that, that's going to take a little bit of time. Then we move on to Mercury Man, who has a dex of 11.
Okay, well, looking at my character sheet, I've got attacks. Basic attack is Crystal Foot, but I've got this dive into combat.
Yep. You haven't landed. You haven't landed yet, so you can use that to literally dive into combat.
Oh, I thought I had landed, and
you said you dropped them off, but you hadn't landed.
To be honest, Vlad, I thought that's what you'd said, that you were still airborne.
Yeah.
Okay, well, if I've dropped them off and I'm still airborne, then I will, if I can dive into combat, I'll do that straight in. And I will, I don't know what that entails, but I will kind of shape myself.
Is that flight, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think I should find where that says. So you add a +5 damage modifier for that attack only.
And it says 1 frame to recover. I'm sure what.
Yeah, the round's split into 4 frames. So you can make an attack in 2 frames, and you must spend your next frame recovering. So theoretically, you'd have 1 frame left out of the 4 that you would get in a complete round.
Yep.
But you get an additional 1d6 and 2d6 plus 6 hits to coma during that first round. So
I'll do that.
1d20. That should hit.
And I'll say, we will ask the questions.
So, attack 2. So hit, and you are going to do whatever damage it says for your punch, plus an additional 1. Are you trying to kill him or knock him out?
I'm not trying to spare his life or anything like that. I'm just right in there. So I have to do what was it? 2d6. It's 2d6 plus 6.
Yep. Plus an addition. So whatever on your sheet, plus an additional 1d6 hit to kill.
What's this plus 5 damage there?
Oh, so that's added on top of all of that. So on your sheet, you've got a damage modifier.
I've actually pasted it in the general chat. So I see that's 1d6 plus. Okay, I'll just do that 1d6.
Yeah, so dive into combat for you, Roger. 2d6 plus 6 hits to coma. Plus you do 1d6 hits to kill. And the way I understand it, your plus 5 damage, which is basically a consequence of you using your flight to dive into the melee. I think you apply it to one of your either hits to coma or hits to kill.
Yeah. So that's 7. Or 2d6. When we do that, so that's 14 plus 5 is 21, and 2 hits to coma. That's the other way around. 20. So it's 7 and 14. So 7 hits to kill, 14 hits to coma. He's got a divider of 4.
Jeepers.
So, yes. So you do, what's 7 divided by 4 is 2 points of damage. That is 14 divided by 4 is, oh, it's calculator.
It's what, 3?
14 divided by 4 equals 3.5. Round up. Okay, so you hit him. He doesn't seem to be stunned by it, shaken. Mike.
Yes.
Oh no, sorry. Mokuman has one more action left.
Okay.
Yeah. Can I back off slightly?
Yes.
Yeah, you can use your last frame to do a move.
Yeah.
It's like a half move thing. Mike,
Yes.
what are you gonna do?
Harry, hit him.
Yeah, I'm going to smack him in the gob.
Okie dokie.
Smack him in the Fura hole.
So your movement defense. Your weapon class is 3 for a Sunday punch. His defense class is 4. So you've got to get 10 or more to hit him.
Right, it's on the D20, yeah?
D20, yeah. Now that I found the bloody table.
Come on, geezer.
D20, come on. Yeah, you've come on. Right. Ignore that.
You hit
Oh,
him.
it did roll it.
Yeah, you hit him.
Okay, yep, okay. I'll take that.
So-
I'll take that.
So 1d6.
That was a 4.
4. So it's 4 plus 33.
A 37.
37. It hits to kill. Hits to coma. 3d6 plus 12. But without the damage modifier. Just going to apply that on 1. So 3d6.
Hang on a minute. I'll just hit. I just rolled a D6 3 times because this thing's off. 1,
Yeah.
2, 3.
37.
And that was a 4. Yeah, so it was a 4. That's 2.
Because they managed to do it 4 times, but you want 4, 2, and 3, don't you?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, 4, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9 plus 12 is
4
21.
was this one.
Yeah, but you just ignore the 1 because that was the 4th dice roll, so you didn't need that one.
Yeah, but the 4 doesn't count. The 4 was the previous die from the previous.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, that was your hits to kill.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's where I'm going wrong. Yeah.
No, it's 2. It's 2, 5, 6.
6 plus 12 is 18. Okay,
Sorry.
Calculator out for this. So 37 divided by 4 is 9. So that's 11 points so far, and maths is fantastic. 4, so that's 8. Okay, so he stumbles back a little bit because that's quite a hefty punch.
Yeah.
You have one more. You got
Yeah, fuck it. I'll go for him again.
You can hit. You can hit him twice because it's G. If you want.
But I don't think you can do another Sunday punch, can you? That's one around, isn't it?
Okay, so then I'll.
Yeah, just
can't do a Sunday punch, but I can fist foot him.
Oh yeah, you can do a normal punch now. Yeah.
Yeah.
You still get the 33 points of damage. Yeah. So if you do the Sunday punch and you 33, you chuck on it's the coma. You're looking at 3d6 plus 45 points of damage.
I'm going again,
but
go on.
Yeah, go with fist, and that's 2d6. So it's a 1d20 to hit. You get over 10.
Yeah, please get that D20 roll high, mate.
I got a 10.
So you hit
Yep.
him. So it's 2d6 hits the coma and 1d6 minus 6
2d6.
hits the kill.
I'll get thing on the advance. I'm
So-
just going to roll. I'm just going to roll 2d6 twice. Okay. So 1, 2.
It's 34 points to hit if it hits the coma, and 2d6 6 plus that's just 6.
Yeah. So I've got a
6.
4 and a 4 and a 2. So it's 6. Yeah.
9. Yep. 34 divided by 4 equals. That's not good. That's wrong. 34. Let's go with that. Okay, so he's not knocked back, but he's a little bit staggered. He wasn't actually expecting you to hurt him as much. His,
Yeah. And it's the fist hits. The fist hits. My skin turns translucent and turns into the crystalline.
yes,
As I said,
hence doing the 33 points
Yeah, good
damage.
stuff.
So he's now going to. So you've done mind war against the bubble. Make a strike roll.
Yeah,
mental attack
it's
roll.
D20 plus me ego, isn't it?
Yep.
So, 23 in total, Kevin.
Yep.
Could have done with a better roll than that, but never mind.
23. So you feel as you connect to the bubble that it does kind of ripple, and you think it's going to take a couple of those to burst it, but you have made contact.
Awesome. I will simply keep concentrating and bleeding in that order.
Okay. So, Mike, you've done how many attacks you done? You've done 2 attacks.
Yep.
Okay, so it's now this werewolf's go. He is going to
put me back.
hurt you. So he's going to say, I'm going to roll 1d6. 1 to 2, it's going to be Vixen. 3 to 4, Mercury Man. Diamond Geezer gets the top end. Because whilst she's the easiest target, you did more damage to him.
Right. Okay.
1 to 2, he's still going after
Well, there's
Vixen.
a shock.
I thought that was fair. So 17.
Well, I don't think I'm dodging at the minute. So. Oh, crime.
What's your defense class?
That will be 6.
Okay, so he needs to get 10 or more.
So you say the 17 rather does make that a moot point.
Yep. So it's going to do claw. No. Yeah, claw. 2d6. So 2d6 is going to come off your hits to kill. Plus 12.
Yeah.
And then it's going to be... oh, no, sorry, 2d6. I pushed it once. So that's 22 points of damage off your hits to kill. And it's going to be 1d6. It's Tacoma. 4. Minus any modifiers. Dividers.
And it was what, sorry, 22 hits to kill, was it?
Yep.
Oh, that is not good. That's hospitalised.
But that's a pushback, isn't it?
Yeah, because I'm only a 20. Yeah.
Yeah. So he actually the damage is you are now knocked back onto the ground.
As if I wasn't on the ground already. Let me just look up pushbacks because I'm assuming it knocks me a distance away, but 24.
It's isn't it 1d6 back?
Oh, it's not more.
Back.
No.
If you do
For every 5 hits to coma or part thereof, the victim is driven back 2 meters. So he's managed to claw me, throw me up in the air, and I've landed about 6 foot away.
Yep. But you're not going to get attacked again because his next turn, he's simply going to turn on Mercury Man. So Mercury Man, what is your defense class?
Defense
6.
class.
6. 10 or more. He's unstormed, so he's going to try and kill you. 2d6 with his claw.
You can declare it.
Plus 12, 18. Oh, sorry. Yes, you can declare your dodging.
Oh,
Yeah, you
might as
can
well.
wait for Kevin to make his attack roll. I know he's hit you. You can now declare a dodge. If you are successful, you get some extra dividers because of your stretching ability.
Yeah. So what's your dodge?
+1.
+1. Okay, roll 1d6 and add 1 to it.
Ah,
Ooh.
that is low.
F. So you is that? So your total facts, you didn't dodge.
Okay.
Yeah. So essentially, you need to get 4 or more to not to dodge, or to get a glancing blow. So that was 18 points of damage hits to kill. Have you got any defense modifiers? Not defense, dividers.
Apparently not.
Oh.
No.
No.
He would have had, from his stretching, had he made a successful dodge, but otherwise he's got no armour.
Okay. So straight 18 points damage. And then he that's your hits to kill, sorry, and 1d6 3 points of damage to hits to coma.
Sorry, so I've got. Sorry, tell me that damage again.
So damage is where are we? 6 plus 12, so 18 points of damage to your hits to kill,
Okay.
and 3 points of damage to hits to coma.
What you're doing,
Got it.
Roger, basically, because you've grown as well as anything else you're doing, you've got 2 sets of numbers, and you're using the higher numbers from your hits to kill and hits to coma.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah, I assumed
Cool.
that. So
Oh.
I was just scrambling to write it down because I didn't see a handy place to record it on.
No, I'm just using a bit of paper myself and looking very worried at the mounting hits to kill.
Yeah. For some reason, it seems that your characters aren't as overtly strong as we first imagined.
Mm-hmm.
No, none of us had rolled
But-
any sort of major defensive powers.
No. Never mind. Mike.
Yes.
No, it's your. Sorry. He has finished his attacks.
Yeah.
So it now goes to Vixen, who's on the floor.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not dead yet, so I'll carry on with the mind war.
Do you have any recovery?
I don't think I've got anything special. No, I'm looking at 1d6 per hour.
Okay.
I haven't got regeneration or anything like that.
Okay, so there's no actual kind of rules for breaking your psychic connection, so to speak. So you just need to make another. So essentially, you need to make 3 mental attacks against the object. You've done 1. You've got 2 more mental
Yeah, because
attacks
there'll
to go.
be 2 frames each, won't they? So.
Yep. So you make another mental attack. It's cool.
So I rolled a 5 and a 15. So just let me remind myself, I'm 14 ego. So I will have got a 19 and a 29.
Yeah. So all you are doing is lying on the
Bleeding.
floor and doing 2 attacks.
Yeah.
Bleeding and doing 2 attacks. Okay. So you think you may have broken the boundaries of the bubble,
Oh.
but Mercury Man, what do you want to do?
Right, so he's just attacked me. I'm going to. I'd like to grab him, fly up, and then throw him down.
Okay, he will attempt to dodge this. So make a what's your grabbing your hand. So your where's it gone? Your
I think you've got to make 2 grabbing attacks.
yeah, it's 2. It's a grapple, so it's 2 pushing, lifting.
Is that a D20?
Yes, throwing an object.
Page 21.
Ah, that's probably no good.
Right, so 2D. So no.
The rules say that both attacks must be rolled, even if the first one fails.
Yep. So you're looking at his defense class is defense 4. So you are looking at anything of 11 or above. So so the second one hits.
Are there any modifiers when on the attack rolls?
No, you haven't got any.
No, it's basically like
no.
making a fist attack, except for they use the same mechanism to try and grab somebody or grapple somebody in this case.
Yep. So it's 1 action. So you have grabbed him. So he's got to make a attempt to dodge.
Yeah, if Vlad's only managed to make 1 successful grapple, then he hasn't succeeded. It does say both must succeed for the grapple to succeed. You could argue that he's hanging on to him, but
so you have got him, but you're not grappling him.
I'd agree with that. Yeah.
And, and you in terms of the dodge, he's going to fail his dodge. Pretty sure he's going to fail his dodge. D6. 6. G, glancing. So you're not going to do any damage to him. So he just gets a glancing blow, but you're just grabbing him. So next round, you need to make 1 more successful grab.
Yeah.
And then you'll be able to lift him off in the air. So that was. So you've done 1 attack, which is so if you do another attack and you successfully grab him, but you can't then fly until next round. You can't attack, and you don't have any skills that enable you to attack and you haven't got jump into combat. You've got dive into combat, but that's No, actually, you do have dive into combat. So as such, you can reverse that as dive out of combat. So if you make another successful 2 attacks for both hands, if you make a successful grab, you can then fly out of combat with him in your hands.
Well, that's 1 in 400 chance of.
That's 2 natural 20s. That's not bad.
Blimey.
So you have grabbed him and you have flown. You are now in the air at whatever speed you are flying with Natch Wolf, Natch Jaeger. But you can't do anything until next round. Mike, what are you doing?
Can I make another attack?
He's
Or
flown off before.
has he flown off with the wolf?
Flown off before you can make an attack.
All right, I'll take another swing at the guy.
No, he's flown off before you can make another
All
attack.
right. Let's see. Voice is gone. What's left?
So lying on the floor is almost unconscious.
She looks really, really bad.
Very.
Can I do anything for him?
Do you have first aid? Is first aid a skill?
Probably not.
I can't remember if you've got first aid as a skill.
Cause flip. I've got cause first aid.
Something tells me Terry wouldn't have administering first aid. He's probably got a lovely bedside manner. So while I'm dying, he can just talk to me nicely.
Yeah, I'll get a nice Cockney accent. I've got.
He just he leans down and goes, "Pull yourself together, Treacle."
Boy, love.
Cause first aid suggests he's not terribly good at it.
Cause first aid. Yeah, so I hit someone and they need first aid. Yeah, that's about as far as it goes with me. No, I've got I've got fast recovery and help. Fast recovery, but that's not exactly what you're looking for.
Just rub it in, mate. Just rub it in.
Just yourself.
Yeah, it's all right. I'm grabbing at straws here, mate.
No, what you should be grabbing at is the huge amount of intestines that are seeping out of my abdominal wounds.
No, so there isn't a skill of first aid. I don't remember the first aid rules.
To be honest, even I don't know if
anyway,
there's any first aid.
All right. Let's do this the other way. What's his wounds? What are the wounds?
They're claw marks.
Very deep ones
on the stomach.
Right.
Okay.
Can I? I'll try and use the word depress the wounds. So, like if you've got like a bullet hole, you put your hand over it and push down, and sort of like stop the bleeding. Try and staunch the bleeding a bit.
Okay. I think anyone, even if you don't have any first aid skills, there are certain things that you will kind of sort of know. If a wound is pissing blood, stopping that is wrapping something around or to slow it down. So I will say that
for God's sake, Terry, take your jacket off and use that.
Are you joking? You said this jacket cost me a fortune.
I'll pay you back.
This is my Lonsdale jacket. So you are able to slow the bleeding down.
Yeah,
But as you are doing that, as you're administering, you're getting some cloth from from bags or whatever to rip up. The fighting around you is getting more intense.
This is just a matter of interest. Who's actually with me?
Just you and Vixen.
Is there anybody around who's got laser vision?
No.
Okay, because I was thinking they could use their lasers to light. But whatever.
That would still do damage.
Yeah, but it might
staunch the wound.
Yeah, but it might seal the wound, authorize the wound.
So your options really are pick her up and run back to the base, the Edwardian townhouse. Leave her and go and investigate the time bubble, which You do this, so the psychic bubble, you don't know what's happened to that.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't know, so I'm just going to pick her up and run
No.
back. Assuming is it
Okay.
like a portal or something? It's sort of like there is what we appeared through or something.
Yes, there's a gaping blue swirling light.
Yeah, I'll just pick her up and leg it for
and
that.
but there's no. So the Edwardian building is inside the cavern, and there's various ladders pulled down that we didn't climb down a ladder because you were flown.
The building
But
itself
underneath
is in the cavern.
actual the building is itself in the cavern, and there's a big door that's been dropped down to let the dinosaurs out. And they're fighting quite intensely to your left. And you run full pelt. What's your movement?
6.
6. Full pelt's a strong word,
Shuffle.
but you move at speed, and you're heading towards
I would
the
say I
Edwardian base.
wouldn't be encumbered by her carrying the body.
Definitely
Because of
not.
my strength.
No.
So
Whilst you're doing that, the scene cuts in the air, high into the top part of the cavern. Mercury Man and the Wolf are wrestling. Because you have hold of him, you have the initiative. You're holding his arms. He's not going to be able to attack you as easily as you are going to attack him. So you get the drop on him, so to speak. But we still roll. We still roll initiative. Oh, no initiative. It's just straight. It'll be straight frames. So what do you want to do?
So now I'm going to drop him, throw him if necessary, just to hopefully get some decent falling damage. I'll get up as high as I can. I got up as high as I could the previous round with the intention of now dropping him onto the floor.
Okay, that simply is a matter of letting your hands go. This guy has no flying ability, and he drops, and he lands like a sack of shit on the ground. And he takes 19 points of damage.
That's better.
That's not bad. He lands. He's not unconscious, but he has anyone that's dropped from that height, despite the mathematics of this saying that he's actually only going to take 5 points of damage. I defy anyone to. He hasn't got the real ability to not. Heaping regeneration. Okay, so he lands in a heap on the ground. It's going to take him a while to kind of get back to combat. So you now have a couple of frames. Well, you're out of combat, but what are you going to do? You can see Simon Geezer is running back to the Edwardian townhouse with Vixen in his arms.
Come down, grab Vixen to the townhouse. I'll go and take on the Wolverine guy, because I seem to be the only one that can sort of deal with him.
He's some distance off. You could get back to Time Lord. Yeah. So you think that you have enough time for Mercury Man to grab Vixen and take her to the Edwardian townhouse. All the meanwhile, Simon Geezer are running to Time Lord. And then you've probably got a couple of rounds before Wolfman is up and back at you.
Yeah, I'll get Vixen to safety.
Okay. So you kind of swoop down, grab her, and fly into the Edwardian townhouse. Scene cuts to Simon Geezer turning and running towards the corner of the cavern. You get to the corner of the cavern, and the psychic bubble has broken, and clumped in a heap on the floor is, for all intents and purposes, John Pertwee, but it looks like a 17th century rake really dishevelled looking guy. This is the imagery you've seen of Time Lord. This is Time Lord collapsed unconscious in a heap on the floor in front of you. What are you going to do?
I'm going to head for Time Lord.
Okay, no, he's in front of you. You
Oh,
got
right,
there,
okay.
and he's on the floor in front of you. You're maybe 4 feet away or so.
I'll pick him up and back to the...
Okay, you as you lean down and pick him up, there's a residue of the psychic bubble, and you get flashes of images that you don't make sense of. Nothing that images of woods, of a white throne, but nothing that makes any sense. But you turn and begin to run back. Halfway back, you are met by the Wolfman, who's looking a little bit damaged. So we go into initiative again. In the meantime, Mercury Man, you are on top of the Edwardian townhouse, having dropped off Vixen. You can both use initiative at the same time and attack at the same time.
Is that
So,
a plan?
I got a 9. See what you get. So one of you roll, and that's your combined.
Who's got the better initiative?
You do one. It's 1d10, and it's the difference between the two is whoever's got the highest. So if I got a 9 and you got a 1,
We
then
both got. Oh, right, okay.
So one of you roll a 1d10.
Any of us?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Either of you, either of you roll 1d10.
Oh no, sorry, I just rolled a 20. Ignore that.
Oh yeah, no.
All right, that one.
Same again.
So the difference, the difference between 6 and 9 is 2. So I go first, and I got 2 rounds. He's facing Diamond Geezer, not aware that Mercury Man's behind him. So he is going to leap. What's he going to do? He is going to try and grab Time Lord out of your hands, because clearly this guy is quite important to you, because whilst there's been an attack on the one side, you've gone straight for this particular guy. So he is going to attempt to grapple Time Lord. Boomp. So he gets one hand, 2. So he does exactly the same thing that Mercury Man did. He's got one hand successfully grabbed onto Time Lord. The other hand isn't.
Well, I'm
okay.
I'm going to. I'm obviously going to struggle to keep hold of him.
Well, your strength is 48. His strength is 27.
So I can get him back off him.
You can, but you are talking about a human being in between two really strong people.
Okay. So what I'll do? I'll do is
it's Mercury Man goes next. So he's used both attacks to grab him.
What I was going to say is if I not necessarily wrestle this guy, but restrain, just to try and hold him. Basically, I want to keep the wolf guy occupied on me. Okay,
but your dexterity is 10. Mercury Man's dexterity is 11. So Mercury Man will go first.
What I'm trying to say is, I will try and distract the wolf guy while Mercury Man comes up behind and clobbers him from behind.
Yeah,
that's what I was trying to say. It was not.
Okay, no worries. So, Mercury Man, you get to attack.
Yeah. So, can I dive into combat again?
Yes.
I'm gonna. Let's see if this. Oh, just a question. Looking on the character sheet, it's next to the attacks. It's got a column WC.
That's weapon class. So I just need to know your weapon class for your attack. So your weapon class is 2. I think. Is it 2 or 3?
2.
2. So your weapon class is 2. His defense class is 4, so you've got to get 11 or more to hit.
Oh, I see. Okay. Right. So dive into combat.
Unless you've got a strike modifier, but I don't think
No.
Miss. Is that your?
Yeah.
Yep. So you 3 plus your. Yeah. So you missed.
Yeah. So ignore the damage rolls.
Yeah. So you simply missed. As you flew a bit too fast, and just missed him, and have flown past him. So Diamond Geezer, it's your go. So that's 2 rounds to fly past. You've only got 1 really round to recover and stop and turn. Ready for a second go. So Diamond Geezer.
Right, I'll release Time Lord, and then smack this guy, roundhouse.
Okay, because then he has him.
Then as I say, I'll deliver a Sunday punch.
Okie dokie. So you got your that was 3. So it's 10 or more to hit.
Okay, so it's D20s, yeah. Right. Okay. Yeah. Just the one. Yeah, just the one. Right. Okay. 15.
So 50. You hit him. So you are doing Sunday punch is 1d6 hits to kill. 1d6. 6 plus that's 39. 40 divided. So we're going to call that. Okay, and then 2d6, 3d6 plus 12.
Right, okay. I'll just do the 3d6s. 1, 2, 3.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9 plus 12 is 21. Right, so that's 5. Okay. So that's your Sunday punch, and you can then just punch him. So you only do 1 Sunday punch around.
Okay. That.
So got to get more than roll 1d20 and try and get more than 10.
Yep.
Natural 20.
Okay.
So you hit him again. So this time it is 1d6 minus 6. That's just a straight 34, which is 34. Just roll 2d. That's what this is.
I don't get any bonuses for a natural 20, no? Okay.
No. It's a shame, really. 34.
Do you not get a critical hit,
8.
Kevin?
Oh, you do get a critical hit. Absolutely, yes. Critical hit. Critical hit.
D10.
Roll a D10.
Trouble is, I haven't got my supervisor's book to hand.
That's a 3.
Okay, but didn't somebody do 2 D20s earlier? Forgot about those. Roger did 2 D20s. So, Mike, you roll 3. But in addition to that, Roger, if you roll 1d10 twice, because obviously I forgot about those critical hits earlier that you got. So 3, or it reduces damage divided by 2. So that then is that's 45. Cool. So Roger, 9. Yep. And 6 is. I got a 6 there, so that's 20. So the end result of the 3 critical hits is his powers are scrambled. Which means for 1d6 rounds, he's not going to be able to use his powers. So he will then shape change back to a normal human. His defense modifiers are reduced by 2, but they only take place in wolf form
Yeah, makes
anyway.
sense.
And what was the other one? 9. 9 is 6. Nerve center, extra 1d6 damage. So you've actually so it's 1d6. I'm going to 12 to that 32. Plus that is going to be 51. So you
Hitting in
have
the solar plexus.
yes. So the cause of the damage with that final punch from Diamond Geezer, you have knocked him to the ground, and he is dead.
What a pity.
Oh,
Hits to kill. Hits to kill is 49. You've done 51 points of damage. Once I've readjusted for the defense modifiers, hospitalized at 4.
All of a sudden, he's become a good Nazi.
Oh yeah, he's all good Nazi. However, he does get 1d6 rounds recovery, but you fried his powers, so no, he is dead.
Right.
He falls down. Time Lord is lying on top of him. It's that moment that Mercury Man, you look to your left, and there's been a bolt or something. Someone has thrown something, but you can see one of the V2 rockets is being tipped over, and it's going to fall and blow up.
do I have time to zip in and?
You don't think so. You think you've got more time to grab Diamond Geezer and Time Lord and zip back onto the
I'll do that.
ship. So all you need to do is make a 1d20 roll and not roll a natural 1. You're essentially going to be flying down, grabbing them, and flying off. So only a natural fumble is going to mean that you miss. So anything other than you just rolled it. Did you just rolled it?
Yes.
Yeah. So 9. So you grab them and you fly into the Edwardian townhouse. As the others begin to round up, the V2 falls over. The Hannibal starts to take off, and the last kind of image you see of that of the Tinderless dimension is essentially 2 things. The Hannibal flies off through another escape portal, and the V2 detonates. Detonating the second V2 and the V1s, and it's just a ball of flame as you pull out of the Tinderlost dimension.
Damn. Did I? Oh no, we got Time Lord. Yeah, good.
Yes, you've got Time Lord, and Time Lord's unconscious, and after a few moments of getting to grips with what's happened, you take him to the infirmary. Lying in a bed in the infirmary, which appears as another giant room in this building, is Vixen.
Hello.
So Vixen, you can take 2 lots of recovery, because in addition to your natural recovery, you're going to gain there's some nurses on board that will give you a bit of help.
2d6.
Bit of recovery. Yeah.
6 it is, thank you.
Okie dokie. So you can spend some time recovering in this place. Time Lord is still in a coma. So the Anachrono Man comes in and says, look, that's really good. You've got him. It looks like he's going to be in a coma for a bit. So we're going to return to the center of the sun. If you want to stay for a few days, a few weeks to recover, we can do that. And I can drop you back off at Postman Park moments after I left you.
Thank you.
Sounds like a plan.
That would be useful.
So after about a week of recovering, within the, got to find a better name for this thing, the townhouse, the time device, you are called into the infirmary that Time Lord has awoken. Aside from the nurse and the anachronic man, it's just the 4 of you.
Yeah.
And the Time Lord is a bit not 100% there, but he's recovering. You came for me. How can I help you?
Does anybody remember
He
what
says.
after all of that?
We're after information on Trickster Girl and the recurring disappearance at Westwich every New Year's Eve.
He kind of so I met Trickster Girl years ago. We kind of, it would have been the 70s, I think. Before I met Jane Smith. So Jane Smith's the other good woman that was in the photographs in Birmingham. He says I was going out with Trickster Girl for a bit. Yeah. Quite a sweet little thing until she was killed.
But this is part of the problem. We don't understand why she's caught in some kind of time loop.
There's there's a moment in his face that he goes, "Oh, bugger! Is that still going?"
Did you know about it from the 1970s?
There was a thing. I was visited by the White Queen, and she wanted help stopping someone.
Stopping who?
She called her the Nightmare Queen.
That ring any bells? That name or?
Yes. You would call what the Commodore said.
She's the queen of my nightmares.
Yes, he said in a rational voice, she is there when I'm in and out of darkness, when I'm in and out of sleep. She is the queen of my nightmares. I first met Trickster Girl in the summer of 77. Which I think at the time you thought Queen Nightmares was
I'm
Trickster
afraid
Girl.
we did.
Got that wrong then, didn't we?
The Queen, she used a lot of her, the White Queen, a lot of her magical reserves. She almost died when we trapped Nightmare Queen. She fell through a mirror shallot. I didn't see her after that, but you hear rumours, and I think if you need to speak to the White Queen, if she's still alive, there's only one person on Earth that would actually be looking after her.
Who would that be?
James Patterson.
Hmm?
So is this White Queen some kind of magician?
I don't know. She had a something of an urethral, a urethral-ness about her, almost somewhat fey-like.
I see. And sorry, I've already just forgotten, Kevin, sorry. Was it the White Queen who wanted Time Lord's assistance or Trickster Girl?
Yes.
White Queen.
White Queen.
To fight the Nightmare Queen.
Yes.
And did you help her?
Sorry?
And did you assist him?
Yes, I was able to trap the Nightmare Queen in a time loop. But that's been decades since I've even thought about that.
If you trap the Nightmare Queen in a time loop, why is Trickster going in a time loop?
Mhm. I can only imagine that the time prison is degrading.
Do you mean it's
What
degrading and it's caught Trickster Girl in the time loop?
Yeah, it must have. If you're seeing her in a continual, it's a simple trap. It's a sleight of hand trick. But if you're seeing Trickster Girl, then I can only imagine she's caught in that loop. She is dead. But if you're seeing her, she's caught. The time bubble is expanding. So you'll see more things as a worst case scenario. More things get caught.
What can be done about it?
You need to speak to the White Queen. You possibly need to go back
And where can we find the White
stop
Queen?
James
James
Patterson.
Patterson would have her. And a Chronic Man goes, I know who James Patterson is.
Ooh. To enlighten us, please.
He is. He looks after the state of affairs for the Crown.
Oh. Okay, wasn't expecting that.
And has done for a long time.
So he's another. Is obviously he's got superpowers. Then he's immortal. Oh, so he's not.
James Patterson is a little bit more than immortal.
Be Merlin or something.
James Patterson is. Oh no, James Patterson is Hugh Gardan.
It's nothing to me, but I will leave it.
Hugh Gardan is the prototype.
Right. Okay.
He's he's a very strong, powerful being of immense power. Yes. If as Time Lord says, the Santa Chronic Man says that the White Queen is with the James Patterson, that must mean she must be in the Ice Vault.
Yeah, the Ice Vault. Isn't that what they call the prisons?
Deep. Yeah. They are. This was a prototype. When the old queen was dying, a prototype was built, and she was frozen in the ice prison. It's the ice vault, really, because her quest hadn't. There was something she had to finish before passing, which has, I believe, been completed. However, I think she is still resting in the vault, alive but not alive, so to speak. So if James Patterson has the White Queen, she must be in the vault next door.
Next door?
There will be. There's possibly two vaults under Buckingham Palace. One contains Queen Victoria, and the second is this White Queen that Time Lord talks of.
Bit of B&E at the Buck House then.
White Queen.
So the White Queen rings no
No.
bells
Okay.
whatsoever. There's a book by Pippa Thingamajiggy called The White Queen, which revolves around some old queen hundreds of years ago, but that just doesn't. White Queen, Nightmare Queen. It sounds a bit otherworldly.
Especially if she's being described as fey-like.
Yep.
I mean, I know a little bit about. This is Sally, sorry, not me. I know a little bit about Japanese myths, especially concerning kitsune, and a little bit about other things. So, the Fey world is you sort of elves and sprites and things like that. The world that used to exist in the United Kingdom before we all became industrialized and scientific.
Well, there are. So the Anachronic says, well, the Fey realms still exist. There are gates you can use to enter the Seelie and Unseelie courts. But they kind of link in with the Anoon and the Celtic underworld.
Wow.
Not quite in the same vein as the Shadowlands and the Realm of Shadows. However, it's not too dissimilar. I believe there is a gate that Thomas the Rhymer used in the Eldon Hills in Scotland. But I wouldn't imagine that's still open. Not after all this time.
Anyway, that's something for another day.
Thomas the Rhymer,
Yeah.
you can Google if you want. So time passes, and Anachronic Man says, I think we're going to have to keep Time Lord heavily sedated. But so when I say time passes, so Vixen, you'll be fully healed. So about a month or so will have passed by the time you get dropped back. Even though you're going to be dropped back at the same time you were picked up. He says, so I can drop you in back to your time anywhere you want to go. But I will give you a word of advice.
Please do.
Before I drop you. What Time Lord has said is that he has trapped this Nightmare Queen in a loop of 1980, which is why nobody remembers 1980. I cannot go to 1980. However, if you do go there, you will not, I don't believe, be able to. I won't be able to give you. I won't be able to come and help you. I can't get you out of 1980. We physically cannot go there for some reason. Partly, I suspect, because of Time Lord's loop. If that breaks, that could be another matter. However, I can't go there.
Do you have anything like the stasis bubble or whatever it is, a time bubble?
No, but I can give you.
Because I'm thinking, you don't have to, because you can give us something that can freeze us in time. You can go there, do what we need to do, freeze us in time, and then re-emerge now. Makes sense.
You simply need to go and speak to the Watchmaker, or jump over to the Kestrelverse and Tachyon. If you can get to the Kestrelverse, Tachyon will return you.
Okay.
Tachyon is the holder of the Kestrelverse key of time. He will be able to return you. If you can go and speak to the Watchmaker, he will also be able to return you. The Watchmaker can walk through dimensions, and he will simply be able to walk you out of 1980. And he scribbles on a piece of paper the address of the Watchmaker. He says, keep that close. That's where he should be or his premises are in 1980.
That's good of you. Thank you for that. You've told us who holds
Yes.
the key to time or key of time in the Kestrel verse. Who holds it in our universe?
Well, in our universe, it's known as the Antikythera
That
device.
thing.
That thing. And currently, I believe Shadow 5 are jumping around the Victorian era in the 1800s
This
with
is
it.
fascinating stuff.
The thing with the Antikythera device, the Eagle verse is Key of Time. Whatever happens, it has to be on that ship, be found in 1902, 1909, off the coast of Antikythera. So at some point, it'll have to be given back to Archimedes.
Yeah,
Archimedes
I
to be
see.
put on the ship. I don't know when that will be. Time is we can see lots of time, and there are many things you can do within constraints of time. However, finding one device that gives you the ability to jump through time is not the easiest of things to find. It's not like I can put I believe you call it Find My iPhone. I can't put a Find My Time Machine tag on it. He's looking quite smug at that reference because he's come from the 1950s. And whilst he's been looking around time, he's quite smug with a 2023 reference. A wry smile.
Nice one.
So if we manage to get to 1980,
Yep.
we need to get back. We can try to find the watchmaker.
Yes, if go to 1980. If you have to go to 1980 to battle the Nightmare Queen, all you need to do is find the watchmaker,
Go
or
to the Kestrel verse.
make your way over to the Kestrel verse. At which point, if you can get to the Kestrel's nest and speak to Tachyon, he's there. They are the only two people that can do it. Everyone else at that moment is dead. That could potentially
It
jump.
seems
through
though
time.
I don't know how we would get to another universe. Watchmaker's looking like a pretty good bet.
Yeah.
The mirrors of Shalott should be working, and there is a way junction. If you can find the right mirrors Shalott, you can enter into Jezreel's tower, and from Jezreel's tower, if you don't go to the farm, there is the Hall of Doors, and the Hall of Doors will take you to Kestrel.
But the mirrors aren't working.
They're not working now, but they were working in 1980.
And as we're in 1980, we can use them.
Timey-wimey stuff.
If you're in 1980, you can use.
I understand what you're saying now. Thank you.
All right, I've always up for a suicide mission. Who's with me?
I think I was way ahead of you on the suicide mission.
Yeah.
Is it time for Westwich?
But
So I guess ultimately your options your options are go and see the White Queen.
Sorry, I forgot about
palace, or go to Westwich. You didn't ask Time Lord about Westwich. Does Time Lord know anything about Westwich? Nothing that. Just go back to see if Time Lord knows anything about Westwich. Done that.
Because Westwich is where? the Trickster Girl time loop is happening, isn't it?
So what is? No, it's a different
sorry.
place. She was born in Westwich.
Sorry. So where was the time loop happening then?
Well, I thought.
So that's in
National Trust Garden.
It's in a yes, National Trust Garden. It is a Jacobean house, which I have misplaced a bit of paper that says exactly.
My
where it is, but they were in
mistake. Sorry.
locations.
So right. So I've got confused now as to what the relevance of Westwich was. I seriously thought that's where the time loop was.
So no. So
That's where the girl comes from.
So she comes from. So so you're called in to speak to Dice because the Trickster Girl, one they've established who it was, links two events: the Mirrors of Shalott and the trees. Because she is the only person that the Anderson Institute were looking at. So the Anderson Institute deals with superheroes and supervillains, and it had one satellite office. That one satellite office was in Westwich, and it was looking after Trickster Girl. That's the only reason it was there. So it was destroyed, but it had a mirror of Shalott, or it was abandoned. But there was a mirror of Shalott in the Anderson Institute's office there. So you now have a bunch of trees growing around Westwich and the West Midlands, which may or may not have been as a result of them knowing that the nuclear bomb is going to go off, because lots of the southern part of the UK is covered in trees. But Westwich also has it's got this growing, and there's an oddity there that you told about that or not? I can't remember whether you were told. No, you weren't. So you don't know that. So yeah, she links them, but nobody understood why or how that link was, which is why you were sent to investigate to see what the depth of that actual link. The Westwich is a sleepy little hamlet in the West Country, surrounded by farmland and has little contact with the outside world. So yes, your options, I guess, would be Westwich, which Solo must have abandoned because they had to bugger off. Go and see the Queen. Also, go and see James Patterson at the Palace.
See if we can find out about the White Queen.
It would be my inclination.
Yeah, because she was the one that was fighting the Nightmare Queen. Now, if that time loop's breaking down, we will be better speaking to the White Queen if we can to see how we fight the Nightmare Queen.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's the Nightmare Queen that's in the time loop that may be degrading. And
yes.
So it sounds like
it does sound like the thing to do, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think, if anything, we need to be dropped off somewhere fairly inconspicuous around London, if there is such a place.
Well, if you dropped off at Postman's Park, because of the nature of the buildings, that's be as inconspicuous as you're going to get.
Yeah, it's surrounded by tall buildings, isn't it?
Yeah, so you could be dropped off there.
It's a pretty neat wrap up if we do that then, guys.
Yeah, I'm quite happy with that.
Yeah.
Ask the Anachronic Man before this does happen. How would we be best announcing ourselves at the palace so that we don't get shot, arrested, or otherwise incarcerated?
He puts his hand in his pocket and he produces a small envelope. And he writes something on a piece of paper, puts it in the envelope, seals it, and writes "Shadow Free" on the front. So I would go to the guards at the entrance and hand this to them and say you'd like to speak to
Thank you
James
very much.
Patterson.
That might save us rather a lot of trouble. And thank you very much for everything you've done for me and the rest of us.
No problem. I just hope you can resolve your problem.
Yeah, let's hope so.
So, I assume we all fully healed up.
Yeah.
And
See, you've essentially spent a month there. So you are back to normal.
Except for the scars.
Fully healed.
Yeah.
Yes, you keep those scars to yourself.
Cool. Righty. Sounds good. If it's of use to anyone, on the character sheet in Roll20, on the attributes and abilities tab, you can add attributes there, and then you've got current and max, so you could track your hits to kill and hits to coma.
You said that was Roll20.
If you want to.
Is it one of these icons?
Yeah. From the top right, if you open up the journal, it's the third icon from the left, and then you should see your character listed. If you click on that, it'll open up, and then if you click on attributes and abilities, you can add attributes.
No, I'm clicking journal, but I've got a white box. I can't see anything. There's always something when it comes to me.
Not the only one. So I'm on bio plus info, and it's not showing up. So character sheets.
I'll post a little screenshot of what I mean. But yeah. Anyway, there was I quite enjoyed that little scrap. First time getting.
I'm glad that Vixen was able to focus Nat Yarga's attention long enough for you two guys to dispatch.
Yeah. I'm going to get some knuckle dusters, I think. Do I get damage? Do I get bonuses for knuckle dusters?
I'd need to look at those. So you arrive back into the Postman's Park. As you arrive, whose mobile phone? Vixen's mobile phone starts beeping.
Have a look at this then, because I thought the systems were down.
And it says, "Meet me at the British Library at midnight. I have a solution to our problems."
Any indication who sent it at all?
Oh. No. Unknown number. And then the phone goes dead again because your battery is like 1% battery before it dies.
Blimey. And I realise you didn't see that, fellas, but I've just had an anonymous meet me at the British Library at midnight speed dating thing. I don't know who it's from.
That swipe left thing or whatever it's called.
Sorry?
What's that swipe left thing or whatever it's called?
I'm not even convinced it was that. So I don't know. I honestly don't know. This is just a mystery after a mystery.
Oh,
That was a very
what
good
time is it
question. My
now?
phone's dead. Anybody got a watch?
So we are going to say it is, let's say,
Oh, that's
5
not so
o'clock in the
bad then.
afternoon. But you've had a month in living in the center of the sun, so time is a bit. You're not quite there yet. Your watches are going to be, a month out of date. So you have been replaced back at the time you left, and we'll say it's 5 o'clock, as we don't have a recording of the exact time.
So we have to meet someone at midnight at the, what did you say, the British Library?
An
British Library.
anonymous, completely unknown person, or possibly even persons. I've got no idea who, why, but they said we may have a solution to your problems. If I'm being
Yes.
honest, an appointment at the palace this time of day is probably not a good idea. I think I'll consider popping home and getting some fresh clothes on.
Yeah. Remove the blood.
Yes, as you step back into your own time, you start to smell. You realise kind of time has stood still, and there are some things that you don't need to do when you're, outside of time. But now you are back inside of time. There are some things you do need to do.
Right.
Oh, this day just gets worse.
Yeah.
Do you lot want to come back to my place, or do you want to go separate ways and we'll meet up, say, 11:45 outside the library?
Yep, sounds like a plan.
Oh, no, what's that?
Say you want to meet outside his place at the library.
Yeah, I'm saying you can either come back to my place so we can all freshen up, or we go separate ways and meet up at about 11:45 outside the British Library.
I suggest. I mean, we're all. Oh no, we have been good, haven't we? Yeah, we'll go back to your place.
Yeah, I've got nowhere to go.
Okie dokie. That's us then, Kevin. We'll head back to Vixen's flat or whatever apartment, swanky place it is.
Yeah.
The Vixen. Well, I like that. That's
the
a good
Vixen's lair.
Do you want to?
So you go back, and it gets closer to the time. So you're going to go to the British Library.
Hopefully, smelling a bit
midnight.
nicer.
You'll freshen up, and you head back to to London, and you find yourself standing outside the British Library close to midnight.
It sounds like a jam song.
Down the library at midnight.
As you get closer to as you get close to the doors simply open for you.
Okay.
Oh.
Looks like we are expected, and I'll walk through the door.
I love it when an invulnerable man goes first.
I'll
walk in. As you get in there, and inside it's all dark, apart from in the far distance, above some of the library stacks, is a glowing white figure, a beautiful elven-like figure, almost ghost-like, just hovering in the air. And in a very strange language, it speaks to you. You know it's not English. It's almost as if you know what the language is, but didn't know you knew what the language was. It's Enochian. It's Dee's language of angels. And it says, I am the keeper of the key of time. I am she who wanders. You come looking for answers, but for a question that cannot be asked aloud. Who stands before me? Enrich me with your deeds. And she hovers down in front of you, and she's standing about 6 feet away.
Right.
Well, we beat up
She
this.
raised her finger and says, I don't care. Just ask me the question.
No, she sent for us, didn't she? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we have answered your call. Why are we here?
That is not the question.
Next.
Are you the White Queen?
That is not the question.
Are you the Nightmare Queen?
That is not the question.
Why is there a year missing from our history?
O Keeper of the Key of Dawn, O Queen of Nightmares, please tell us the tale of one trapped beyond. Better, she says. Some time ago, a destructive force who was only wanted to destroy the world swept through this place, leaving a wake of destruction behind it. Evil it was, evil it did. Nothing could stop it. Until one whose name was not recorded came and trapped the force in time. A loop of 365 days over and over again. The world moved on and the year fell into memory and myth. One who has cast aside as a time prison fell, has remembered it all, and returned to undo that which was done. It is not clear to my eyes who this is. They have not revealed themselves. I have the last key, the key of dawn. Gather your metal, come to the stones at midnight 2 days hence. There I shall open the last door to the year that never was, and there you will find the one who is yet to be revealed.
Is that a plan?
And the room everything kind of shifts, and you realise you're not actually where you were was not where you thought you were. You are now in the British Museum, and there are some low lights around. There's no glowing figure. The alarms are going off because it's
Right, lads, time to leave.
Carpet.
And they're playing my tune. Let's get out of here.
So you managed to break your way out of the British Library.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Terry's
Quite
good
easily.
with doors.
And there is only one place in England that would be referred to as the Stones.
Mick Jack's apartment.
And you would all know you all know where the Stones are.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a good place to leave it, I think.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
That's all.
Thank you.
That's good. No problem.
I feel we made good progress.
Yeah.
Yes. That was quite good. So I ran the alternate version of that with the guys playing the Nazis, and they got into the cave as you came in. They fought their way round, and I can't remember who it was. It might have been Natch Wolf that actually pushed over the V2 rocket, and then it blew up. But they did manage to get everyone to the flying ship and get out as the terrace house left. And I remember thinking this would be quite fun to play the other way round.
Right.
as long as you didn't mess around too much with the timeline. So
Brilliant.
been a few years since I'm trying to crowbar that in. But yeah, so that kind of you're now. Yeah, so that works well. You're now just looking for the stones. You're going to the stones next in 2 days. But you've got 2 days to get to the stones, which is not too hard to do, surely.
The motor's still operational, I think.
Yeah, it's in a car park, isn't it?